I say this with no exaggeration or hyperbole. Sinners is one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. I'm one of those weirdos that tends to try to see a movie in the theater at least once a week. And in recent months, the trailer for Sinners has been in front of every movie that I've been to, and it's never gotten old to me. Up until this point, it was my most anticipated movie of the year. There was just something about the trailer that just drew me in and engrossed me and just gave a little tickle to my lizard brain of just like, oh wow, that's gonna be a really good movie. And no matter how many times I saw that trailer, my enthusiasm just stayed at the same peak level. And I went and saw the movie opening night, and it met every expectation that I got from the trailer. In fact, it even surpassed them. The atmosphere of this movie is rich and palpable and so engrossing. You know, a movie cinematography and editing are really well done when you're not just watching the characters live in the setting that they're in, but you're living in it with them. Now, while yes, a lot of that is helped by the camera work and just the masterful editing by the people behind the scenes, it's also pushed up just a few extra notches by the performances in this movie. Oh my god, the performances in this movie. There's not a one in here that's bad. There's not even one in here that's just okay. Everyone in here has been given a role, an assignment, and each and every actor in this film knows exactly what they're supposed to do and are so perfect at it. And a lot of that is attributed to Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is just great with actors. He and Michael B. Jordan are just a perfect storm of greatness. When you put them together, magic is gonna happen. And that's no different here. Now, we all know Michael B. Jordan is a great actor, and I'll get to him in a minute. But who I want to speak about first is Miles Caton.
Somebody take me.
Miles Caton, who plays Sammy, aka Preacher Boy in this, is probably my favorite performance in the entire film. He felt so natural. This is apparently his first leading role, his first major role, or maybe even his first acting role at all. And he just felt like he fit right in. There was nothing to assume that he's never acted before. But here he was, giving everything. His performance is effortless, but not in a way that's lazy. I believed him as this young man who has this gift he wants to share with the world, but because he's still so young, there's so many facets of his life where he's still being told what to do and being controlled. And that comes to a head at some points in the film. Oh man, I loved every minute he was on screen. When you get down to it, this is really Preacher Boy's story. This is his movie. He has the gift that is the catalyst for the threat to come after them. His role in this movie is the reason for a lot of characters' motivations. And I don't know if anyone else is seeing that the same way I do, but I really feel like at the end of the day, because the movie begins and ends with him, this is really a story about Preacher Boy. But in talking about Sinners, I'd be remiss to not bring up Michael B. Jordan. As you've most definitely seen in the trailers, Michael B. Jordan is playing against himself in this. That seems to be a trend this year. And playing a double role can come off really cheesy and just not believable at all if you have an actor that doesn't know what they're doing. But this is Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan always knows what he's doing, and that's no different here. These two characters that Michael B. Jordan plays, Smoke and Stack, are so different in their personalities. It would take an actor with really great talent to make them both believable as an entirely different people, and he does. This performance is incredible, and I understand that that's the job of an actor, right? To make you believe that they are the character that they're attempting to embody. But when you're someone that has the notoriety that Michael B. Jordan does, that's a lot harder to do. You can be the greatest actor in the world. And if you're really famous and recognizable, it's going to be really hard for people to not see you. If you wanted to look to this movie for a performance that is just perfect for the actor that's portraying it, look no further than Jack O'Connell.
Don't cry. It's all better now.
There are a lot of words you can use to describe Jack O'Connell's performance here in Sinners. That he's threatening and menacing it, and mesmerizing even in some parts. In fact, he's so charming. I couldn't help but love him despite the horrible things he does. But now, at first glance, Remick looks like the kind of character that is just reveling in being evil and having such fun and taking glee in harming people. But in watching the movie, if you really pay close attention to what Remick's goals are, what his motivations are, you'll notice that you'll realize, rather, that he's not taking glee in being hurtful. He's happy that his actions are achieving his goal. And his goal is freeing these people from being mortal, saving them. He feels that he's saving people. And so when he makes these characters trust him and invades their home and kills the husband, when he's saying, "Oh, don't cry, he's all better now," it's not because he's being taunting. It's because he legitimately feels he has saved this man from a sickness. He feels that he's made him all better. Thankfully, this really excellent writing does extend beyond the characters. Sinners isn't just a well-paced, well-told story. No, it's a movie with a lot of messages. Messages that I don't want to get into too much, because I would like you to discover them for yourself and maybe even find some of your own that the movie just isn't blatantly telling you about. But the ones I want to talk about are a part of this musical sequence that you've probably already heard a lot about by this point. And it's this scene where Sammy, Preacher Boy, is performing at the party, and it's a number that turns into this beautifully moving and transcendent sequence that showcases the power and majesty of music, and how it transcends borders and time, and how the blues has been so integral to black people and their influence on music, and I love this movie so much. Ryan Coogler has always had a very strong visual storytelling method to his directing, and I can't think of another director that could have told the story of that scene alone as beautifully and masterfully as he did. That was a Ryan Coogler scene through and through, and I don't know if it could ever be replicated. Other directors are definitely going to try, but it is going to be something that just cannot be touched. And it wasn't even just that musical sequence either. Remick and his followers also have their own musical number, and it's just as beautiful. I mean, if darkly beautiful, but it was just as well directed and visually striking. I can't praise this movie enough. I'll be here all day. Another thing I feel I should put out there about this movie, just so you know about it going in and you're prepared, is that this movie is extremely adult. And I don't mean that they swear a lot and that there's a lot of violence, which there are those things. But what I'm referring to is this movie is a grown-up movie. This movie is very adult. Characters in here talk to each other very hypersexual and vulgar. So if that kind of dialogue makes you giggle, I recommend you take your little immature ass into the Minecraft movie, because you won't be able to handle this. Now, there is one negative to this movie, and I'm saving it for the end of the video because it's very short. It's kind of a nitpick, but it still really bugged me, and it's that this movie has a very bad opening. It's a very studio note type opening of a movie, right? And it's a shame because the opening of your movie can set the tone. Now, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. And if you didn't know what I'm about to say going in, you would think that the movie's giving a bad first impression. It's one of these opening scenes that gives like these jump scares. What's happening is that you're getting these flashes, these really off-putting, horrific images with big, loud musical stings, right? And it makes you jump. It made me jump, but they're not effective. It's not scary. I think this scene could have worked a lot better if those scenes just flashed by silently. You know, it would have piqued your interest. Like, oh, what the hell was that? You know, but instead it just makes you jump. It kind of takes you out. The scene itself feels like it could have been very immersive and you're into it because what's happening is something very serious. It piques your interest. Oh no, what is this person going through? What is happening here? And then you're taken out with the big boom, and it just it was annoying. But thankfully though, the rest of the movie afterwards is as excellent as I've been saying it is, but it does have a pretty lame studio note type opening scene. So be prepared for that, but it's really the only issue with the movie. So, to conclude, with no exaggeration, I'll reiterate, Sinners is one of the best movies I have ever seen in my life. With a musical scene, that is one of the best scenes I have ever seen in my life. And it has been a while since I could say that about a movie. I don't think on this channel yet I've said that about a movie. I've definitely praised movies very highly, but I don't think I've literally said the words, it is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I honestly think that there are a lot of you out there that are going to feel the same way. This movie's an all-timer, man. When I walked out of it, it was like, oh, that's my favorite movie of the year so far. But as I've sat with it while recording this review, I have come to the conclusion it's not just my favorite movie of the year so far. It might be one of my favorites of all time. It's one of those for me. I'm going to put this movie on once, twice, 3 times a year or so just to watch it, just to live in this world again and just get lost in it. It's one of those for me. It may even be a comfort movie. I don't know. All I know is that I'm in love with it. And I can't wait to get that 4K or that Steelbook in my hands and put it on my shelf and be able to watch it as many times as I want. Because I can't get enough of it, man. If you saw Sinners already, which maybe by this point you have, tell me what you thought about it. Tell me what you think about Ryan Coogler. Tell me what you think about Michael B. Jordan. Let's talk everything Ryan Coogler, Sinners, horror movies down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.